tonight. So the budget is due in just over 40 days, but lawmakers are wrestling with the fact that about 1/3 of the governor's spending plan remains unknown. That's because a team has been tasked with coming up with some $3 billion worth of Medicaid cuts, and it isn't due to make a final report until March 1st. That is, of course, 1 month before the budget is actually due. This week, the team came back with 49 proposals, and that has left my next guest very busy as he weeds through all of these plans. Richard Gottfried is the Assembly Democrats representative on the team, and he's also the chair of the Assembly Health Committee. He's joining us tonight from New York City. Assemblyman, thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure to be here with you.
So you guys actually on this Medicaid redesign team, you've been working a lot. You were all over the state with various hearings. You had thousands of ideas from public testimony, from emails and letters, and you winnowed it down to 49. How exactly did you do that?
Well, to be precise, the winnowing down was done by the executive branch staff, and they presented us with what they consider the top 49 of the thousands of ideas that we received. Of course, many of them were duplicates. They also, though, I mean, we'll all be evaluating those 49. Any of us who want to make comments evaluating any of the other proposals will be able to do that so that the ideas aren't falling off the table. And then most importantly, next week, next Thursday and Friday, we will be spending 2 days together in Albany talking through all of these various things, asking and answering questions and talking about whether a given idea might make sense if it's done this way but not that way, etc.
Okay, some of these proposals we've seen before, haven't we? I mean, I seem to remember talking to people about eliminating the 1.7% inflation factor increase for hospitals, nursing homes, home care, and personal care services. That's $102 million savings. You're talking about ending personal care services, high-end stuff, high-end, housekeeping, shopping,
right,
meal preparation, not directly health-related, but this is stuff that assists people, enables them to stay in their homes, for example. I mean, some of this stuff we've heard before, haven't we?
Yes, and many of these are things that we have done in one year or another, like eliminating inflation factors or increasing assessments, more commonly known as taxes, on healthcare providers as an alternative to cutting their Medicaid. But the most important things in the mix, I think, are relatively new, which is to try to bring more of the high-cost, high-user categories of people, people with major disabilities, people with serious mental illness, etc., into some form of care management or managed care, because those are really the high-cost pieces of the Medicaid program. And there's a lot of evidence that if we can get people into more intensive management of their care, as long as it's management that helps them get the care they need, rather than management that just says no, we can actually make people, enable people to be a lot healthier, get their conditions dealt with, and dramatically reduce unnecessary emergency room visits and hospitalizations. And those proposals, if put together right, I think everyone agrees can do enormous good while also helping to save a lot of money.
Okay, Assemblyman, I have two questions. The first is, do you believe that you can get to the savings that the governor has asked for without cutting services significantly? I understand the managed care, and actually that's supported by 41 advocacy groups that advocate on behalf of people who are mentally ill. So that, I think, a lot of people would agree with you that you have duplicative services, you have a lot of high-cost